Hey everyone, welcome back to Discovering Destinations. Today, the weather looks promising, which is why we're taking you on a day trip. Recently, this region of Greece has been experiencing this phenomenon of sand dust particles coming in from the Sahara Desert, making it kind of hazy and cloudy, not good for pictures and videos. But today, we're in luck, which is why we're taking you to the Temple of Apollo in Corinth. So let's jump in and see what this old city has to offer. Oh, hold on a sec. Now we're ready. After 4 days discovering the Peloponnese, we were ready for our next adventure, Corinth. So we set out from Tolo early in the morning, eager to explore the Temple of Apollo and perhaps even the mighty Acrocorinth. Our first stop, breakfast in Corinth city center. Whether you leave from Tolo or Athens by car or by transport, the ride will take you roughly 60 minutes. Arriving in Corinth around rush hour, we quickly learned that parking here is no easy feat. The city bustled with double-parked cars. And we weren't sure if that's just how things are done. So we improvised. I double-parked and stayed in the car while Ellie dashed into Cupper's Coffee to grab us a coffee and a quick breakfast. Fueled and ready to go, we took a quick drive around the city center and then proceeded to the Temple of Apollo. A short 11-minute drive later, we arrived at the Unesco World Heritage Site. Our main attraction was just ahead, the Temple of Apollo. This ancient temple, built around 540 BC, is one of Greece's earliest Doric temples and reflects Corinth's significance as a power city-state in antiquity. Positioned at the side entrance, its tall, limestone columns immediately draw you into the atmosphere of ancient Greece. We took our time walking around, capturing every angle. If you make your own way to the temple, you'll be happy to know that parking here is free. We paid roughly €8 for our entry ticket. But we encourage you to double check online before you visit for hours of operation and the price of admission. The very first artifact we noticed was the Glauke fountain. Online sources state the fountain's name, Glauke, comes from a tragic myth. Glauke was the daughter of Creon, the king of Corinth. According to legend, Glauke was given a poisoned robe by Medea, the famous sorceress and wife of Jason, as revenge for Jason's decision to abandon Medea and marry Glauke. After putting on the robe, Glauke was consumed by flames. In desperation, she is said to have thrown herself into the fountain in an attempt to extinguish the flames. But her efforts were in vain. This tragic story adds a layer of mythological intrigue to the site. Now, on a more functional level, the fountain consists of a series of cisterns and channels cut into the rock, designed to collect and store water from natural springs. Located near the Temple of Apollo, which adds to its importance. The fountain likely served as a communal water source for the ancient city, playing a practical role in daily life. Today you can see the remains of the Glauke fountain and appreciate its ancient engineering and legends that surround it. It's located near the ruins of the Temple of Apollo, and together they provide a glimpse into the religious and daily life of ancient Corinth. The Temple of Apollo is a remnant of Corinth's rich past as a major commercial hub. Once a central point for worship, it represents the splendor of Doric architecture with its monolithic columns, a rare feature even in Greece. Corinth was well known for its contributions to art, architecture, and pottery. And this temple reflects the city's reverence for Apollo, the god of music, poetry, and oracles. The Temple of Apollo is notable for its massive monolithic columns, 7 of which still stand today. Unlike many Greek temples, where columns were constructed by stacking multiple drum segments, the columns here were carved from single blocks of limestone. On a side note, monolithic columns are less common than segmented ones, due to the difficulty of sourcing and working such large pieces of stone. This monolithic construction contributes to the temple's durability, and it's a primary reason why these columns have remained intact for over 2,500 years. This architectural choice emphasized strength, stability, and divine presence, which was essential in a city known for its wealth and power. Corinth was one of the wealthiest and most powerful city-states in ancient Greece. And the Temple of Apollo was at the heart of its religious life. The temple was not only a place of worship, but also a cultural center where festivals, ceremonies, and gatherings would occur. Similarly to the sanctuary of Epidavros, the sanctuary of Apollo was a place where people came for guidance from oracles. Purification rituals and prayers, especially in matters of health and prophecy, areas for which Apollo was particularly venerated. After capturing various angles and glimpses of the temple, we now headed over to the Archaeological Museum, which is where we found stunning mosaics and frescoes that once decorated the luxurious homes of Roman Corinth. These works of art give a glimpse into the wealth and aesthetic sensibilities of ancient Corinthians. The Archaeological Museum of Ancient Corinth is a treasure trove of artifacts that chronicle the rich history of Corinth. Dating from prehistoric times through the Roman and Byzantine periods. Here are a few artifacts you'll find. The museum houses stunning mosaics and frescoes that once decorated the luxurious homes of Roman Corinth. These works of art give a glimpse into the wealth and aesthetic sensibilities of ancient Corinthians. After the museum, we walked through the village area surrounding the Temple of Apollo. This was once the bustling heart of an ancient Greek and later Roman city. This area, often referred to as the Lower City, was filled with a variety of buildings and structures, serving different purposes over centuries, including markets, public spaces, fountains, and houses. The stacks of rocks we now see are not just random. They are the pieces of a once thriving city. They were placed to support buildings, serve as walls, or outline important public areas. Each pile of stone tells a part of Corinth's history, from its days as a powerful Greek city-state to its later role as an important Roman colony. Walking through this area gave us a physical connection that layered history. Where even the simple stones were once part of a vibrant community. After exploring the temple, we were famished. Having learned that eateries near such famous sites tend to be touristy, I turned to Google Maps for something unique. I found a nearby brewery by the name of Corinthian Brewery. Just 6 minutes away, or so we thought. During our 25 days of driving around in Greece, CarPlay was quite reliable except for a few incidents that you might have seen in the Peloponnese. Today, the GPS had other plans for us, recalculating our route through some questionable narrow streets, making what should have been a quick drive into a 20-minute journey. But after some persistence, finally we made it. Only to be greeted by the owner with unexpected news that they were closed. But they chatted with us and kindly offered us some beer samples before they left, adding a surprise twist to our Corinthian lunch plans. Our brewery detour left us hungry and with less time on our hands. So we drove back towards the temple to find a restaurant in the nearby village. Ellie tried a delicious orzo dish with meat, while I enjoyed a hearty moussaka. By then, the Acrocorinth, the impressive fortress atop the hills, had closed for the day, leaving us with a bit of a missed opportunity. But that's travel sometimes. The Acrocorinth's elevated position offers one of the best panoramic views of the Corinth Canal and the surrounding countryside. The Corinth Canal, though built in the 19th century, was envisioned as early as the 7th century BC. It's a narrow strip of water that cuts through the Isthmus of Corinth, connecting the Gulf of Corinth with the Saronic Gulf, sparing ships the long journey around the Peloponnese. Nearby, the Acrocorinth fortress stands guard, a strategic point in ancient times, offering views stretching for miles. It's been fortified by the Greeks, Romans, and Byzantines, each adding their touch to its defensive walls. While we may have missed seeing the Acrocorinth and the famous Corinth Canal up close, the day was still filled with memorable moments, mishaps, and lessons learned. If you're planning to visit Corinth, we recommend booking a guided tour from Athens to avoid parking challenges and to get the most out of your experience. This city has so much history to uncover, and a little planning can make all the difference. Hey everyone, welcome back! We had such an amazing time here in Corinth today, from seeing the temple up close, to the museum and then the village. Oh, and let's not forget the brewery detour. Despite that, we wish that we could have done so much more, like finally visit the Acrocorinth at the top of the mountain, or see the Corinth Canal up close. But seeing on how our time is winding down in Greece, that'll just have to be for another trip. That said, if you're visiting the region, we highly recommend that you book a tour from Athens. That way, you don't miss a beat. We'll leave the link right up here. Alright everyone, until next week, take care, stay safe, keep on discovering, and we'll see you in the next vlog. Bye for now.